This video was called No Gender, No Identity, No Rights. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a problem with all those Hollywood celebrities in the leftist death cult pushing gender binary and saying they're going to raise their kids genderless, like it's a trend, like it's trendy, like they're using their kid as an um, science experiment because they want to be cool with the rest of the Hollywood elites and the rest of the globalist elites and the rest of the leftist death cult. Well, in my opinion, raising a child is a responsibility. It's not a science experiment. And these parents that are raising their choosing to raise their children genderless and gender binary are using their children is as a science experiment, and quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it's child abuse. Uh, if a kid, if a child is growing up as a boy or a girl and says, um, if you're a girl who wants to play with dolls, oh, I'm sorry, you have to be balanced. You can't play with dolls. You have to play with this Tonka truck. And if you're a boy that is allowed to is being taught to ignore his impulses of playing with trucks and playing with cars and playing with balls and bats and doing all those things that um, boys do, and is being told that they have to wear pink or they have to wear a dress or they have to do this or they have to do that, then the kid grows up confused. He grows up ignoring his natural impulses. He's not sure what he is, what his identity is, and what his sex is, and what happens. He grows up confused. He grows up angry. He or she grows up angry, and quite often they grow up um, psychotic or they end up suicidal. And if you don't believe me, just look at some of the statistics. Now, the difference is if a child goes through the maturity process and decides that they're gay or lesbian or transgender or one of the other 55 million genders that they have these days, then I haven't got so much of a problem with that. But when you've got parents and schools and everything like that ignoring biology and forcing ideological doctrine down these children's throats, then all it is doing is poisoning and confusing them. That's all that it's doing. And if you don't believe me, you just look at the amount of suicide rates amongst transgender people and the amount of people that have changed their sex at an early age that had regretted it and wished they'd changed back. But now let me get on for the real reason for this. The real reason that this, not even so much transgender anymore, this gender binary or genderless society is being pushed by the leftist death cult and it's being pushed in schools and everything like that, is because if you grow up thinking that you have no gender or no identity, then those are the two things that make us human, then you're technically not a human being, are you? And if they convince enough people that they're technically not human beings, then human rights disappear. Then human rights disappear, don't they? Because it's an easy thing for them to say, well, you don't have human rights because you're gender binary or whatever the hell you are. That's the real reason behind it. And also, if enough of these people grow up confused and psychotic, feeling anti human, and they commit suicide, then that's a huge part of the globalist Agenda 21 population control program taken care of, isn't it? And they're laughing all to the way to the bank because these people who are being affected are taking care of that problem themselves by killing themselves because they have no value of who they are. This is so evil, ladies and gentlemen. It's beyond comprehension, quite frankly. And the fact that they have drag queens going into some schools saying how it's cool to be a boy or a girl, it's cool to interchange and this and that and everything else is just absolutely disgusting and abhorrent and evil. It's beyond. I have no words for this. We have a right to nurture children, bring them up, and then give them the guidance to become the men or women or whoever they want to be. Not to destroy them and use them as science experiments for globalist annihilation programs and globalist propaganda. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.